think we have a microphone, but do we have a microphone? Oh, it's over there. I'm sorry. So the microphone is there and there.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the show. I truly enjoy it.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could shed some light on how you do your homework and find the people that you do. Let's take the Brooklyn show as an example. How did you find the couple who were doing the sodas and the gentleman on that stinky river? Shed some light on the homework behind the scenes.
Sure. Brooklyn's a kind of a different example because I live right there. So the Stinky River I live right next to, and it's a toxic river, and you still can't afford to live there. So I think it's fascinating just shedding light on what you really don't see, but how he finds people. I approach it from many different ways. I've had huge long-standing relationships with the visitor bureaus because I feel like they have a very wide view of the people who live in their destination. So Choose Chicago, fantastic group of people. They know everything. Before with Travel Channel, we would have a fixer, and the fixer would give us all the ideas, but it was one person. And I never really understood if we were getting a nice wide spectrum of things. So that's how I do it. Another way that I find really great people is I follow the local newspapers. So I'll follow them on Instagram. So Houston, I follow Houston Chronicle. Then I follow the Austin paper. And it's really easy to do. And so those newspapers, local newspapers, have these real people stories. And I'm just looking, and I'm looking and looking and looking, and I'm talking, and I'm just doing whatever I can to find that great person, that person who's worked really hard. And then slowly we have a show. Thank you.
Hello. Is there any place that we can watch the first few episodes for the new show?
Yes.
Because
so if you've missed it,
yeah.
you can go to Samantha-Brown.com. I'm gonna have to go scroll through the whole thing. Samantha-Brown.com. That's my official website, and we stream 3 episodes at a time. I think it's also on pbs.org, so you can go there as well. It's never going to be the entire series. So
We ended up catching the series when you were in Alabama.
you were in Alabama and you caught it?
No, what I'm saying is that's the first episode that we saw on PBS.
Oh,
so
then you've missed like 3 or 4. Yeah, so go on to my website now and you can stream them.
Okay.
And then they run them again after the full season. It'll be on for a long time.
Hi Samantha, you did a great job with the Travel Channel, and
Thanks.
Travel Channel, though it's more ghost stories now than things. But I was wondering, season 2, are you thinking about coming to Chicago? We have the great places for deep dish pizza, Italian beef, hot dogs.
I'm there. Hot dogs, deep dish pizza, that's it. We have been talking to Chicago, absolutely. If it's not season 2, it'll definitely be season 3.
Hi. I'd love to get your opinion on what your thoughts are about language in different countries. So I know, when people travel to certain countries, sometimes they get intimidated about not knowing the language in that country. And I'm the kind of person where, I would just go anyway, but I'm not really sure.
Really easy. And it took me 8 years to figure this out, traveling. No one in the world expects you to know how to speak in full sentences and conjugate verbs. So you don't even have to worry about that. What you do absolutely have to know how to say is hello, please, and thank you in that other language. That gets me everything I need. And if I'm really good, I'll learn how to say the phrase, may I please have? Because I feel like as travelers, we're always asking for something. But you use those words and you're polite, the doors will open for you.
Okay.
Another thing that I always avoid saying when I'm somewhere is, do you speak English? Right? And you usually do that because you're nervous, you're lost, you're hungry. Do you speak English? That can be seen as a put down if they don't, and a challenge if they do. So just to change that dynamic immediately, I say, no español, English, or inglés, and that's it. That just changes the dynamic, it changes the mindset, and now all they want to do is help me. They totally get that I don't know how to speak Spanish, but I need help, and that usually helps too.
Okay, so taking, even if you were to bring a little phrase book or something.
Oh, bring a phrase book, and I have the apps, but I don't use them because I mean, then you're like, okay, wait a minute, and really just say bathroom, and you got it, Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Hello, Samantha.
Hi.
Hi. So I know that you mentioned that there are not a lot of women in travel, and it's kind of hard to do that. What are some ways to inspire young women and get women out there in the forefront of travel?
I mean, I hope I'm doing it, right? And I don't think that men have less empathy than women. I don't think that women are better travelers. But what it does do when there are no women on TV traveling is it sends the signal that women don't travel. Or maybe you shouldn't do that. I know that me just being in a country has a powerful image. And I am alone. I have a crew with me, but I always walk alone, and I'm always out there by myself trying to figure out how people are perceiving me, to know what I'm really giving back to the TV show, so people get the real idea of what's happening. I think that is so strong. I think there shouldn't be just gender diversity, but there should be ethnic diversity of people who travel. I think it's a sad state of affairs that it is only one gender and that you see on television traveling, when actually in reality more women do travel than men. So that's it. But hopefully I'm doing it.
Hello, Samantha. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have two questions really quick. The first question is, what travel tips do you give about budgets, budget-friendly tips? Also, how do you think it is for a woman to travel alone? Like, I recently traveled alone, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, why are you traveling alone?" And that's a big stigma lately, that people don't feel like women should travel alone, or you shouldn't travel alone in general. So what is your
I think I
opinions about
travel alone, absolutely. You get to do what you want, right? And also what I found, and I mean, I was in countries where people, like when I said the Rio story, where people like, do not go out there. I'm like, I have my wits about me. I'm going to play it safe. And that's how like all of Latin America was. People like, it's too dangerous. You're going to be kidnapped. And it was the exact opposite. People see that you're alone, and they take you under their wing, and it's the best people. There are people who are looking out for you, and I love that. And because you're alone, you're more open to people. They're more open to you because you don't have this partner. So never let anyone tell you. I mean, of course, you want to do your research, make sure you're safe. Yeah. So, but what was your first question?
just like some budget-friendly travel tips?
Yeah, I think for me, again, I just like to go for walks and go where the people live. And when you're in someone's neighborhood, when you're not in downtown Chicago, all of a sudden, you're eating at a restaurant that isn't a $45 steak. And because you guys can't do that every night or even every weekend, so if you go where locals go, that's where it is. Another good budget-friendly tip is, especially in Europe, there's always that main thoroughfare. And so it's like the Champs-Élysées or it's Las Ramblas in Barcelona, and that's where all the tourists are. If you just go one street over, maybe two streets, just parallel, that's where the locals are. And that's when you're gonna get the mom and pops and the local shops where the locals come into. So always explore the side streets of those main shopping thoroughfares. That's when you're gonna find something more interesting and affordable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Hello again. In September, I traveled to China, Windy Tours, a 12-day trip, and I enjoyed your Shanghai segment. Thank you very much. What I thought was very brave of
Can
you.
you talk a little closer? Thanks, sir. Yeah.
What I thought was very brave of you was you met a young lady, I think from Tennessee, who took you around to different food stalls. I was part of a tour group. There were 24 of us, so our meals were always at a hotel, a Lazy Susan. My question is, how did you find that lady who was able to show you those foods? And frankly, did you have any adverse reactions to the food? Thank you very much.
Yeah. No adverse reactions. Amazing food. It's called Untours, and she now has businesses all over China. She's a smart cookie. I found her in the New York Times. That's another 36 hours in. I read that, and she's wonderful. And it's always interesting taking a tour if you're in a foreign country from, say, an American. And I got a little flack for that. Like, why didn't you take a food tour from someone who's from Shanghai? I said, this is why. Because someone from Shanghai doesn't know what we think is really fascinating. Someone from America is going to say, you're going to find this really amazing, but they pay with their phones, and it's only 50 cents, and they hold up their phone. And someone from Shanghai, they've just always grown up with that. So I like when, sometimes I like to hire specifically expats who are from America, so they can say, this is what you're going to find really fascinating. Because obviously they just don't know. They don't know what we know. And one more question? Yeah, one more, right?
Not really a question. I just wanted to say thank you for all your travel shows.
Oh, thank you.
And I did travel alone twice to Ireland and to Italy and can't wait to get back.
Nice.
But I have a husband now who's trying to get coffee, so just thank you.
So you're solo right now. Good for you. Thank you very much. We'll be right over there signing autographs.
How many countries have you been to? Well,
Oh, yeah.
how many countries have you been to, and is that number going to go up in the future?
Yeah, 64 countries, and definitely go up in the future. I start shooting season 2 March 23rd. We already have the funding, so hopefully more and more